Today, we're going to dive into Way Home by Libby Hathorn. It's this incredibly powerful children's story that, on the surface, seems like a simple journey through the city. But it ends up asking a really profound question. What actually makes a place a home? Let's get right into it.
So right off the bat, the story is framed as an adventure. We're following a young boy and a little stray kitten he finds, and they're just trying to get through the city at night. This quote kind of sets a familiar scene, right? It feels like a classic journey. But, as you're about to see, the destination is anything but ordinary.
And that question right there is the core of this entire explainer. The title of the book is Way Home, but the story completely challenges our definition of that word. I want you to keep this question in the back of your mind as we go, because the answer is what makes this book so unforgettable.
All right, so our journey starts, as so many great stories do, with a totally unexpected meeting. Let's take a look at the two characters at the absolute heart of this tale. Here's the setup for you. We've got Shane, a kid maybe 8, 9, 10 years old, and he's all alone in the city after dark. Then he stumbles across this tiny lost kitten. It's such a simple but really compelling moment that kicks off their whole shared adventure. Now, what's so interesting here is the immediate contrast. The kitten is, terrified, it's growling, it's spitting, but Shane's reaction isn't to be scared or annoyed, it's pure gentleness. He speaks softly to it, he calms it down. It just shows this deep-seated kindness right from the very beginning.
And here is a really crucial detail the author slips in. Even though he's in this dark, grimy alley, Shane is described as being neat and clean. This detail is so important because it's like a little puzzle. It makes you question your own assumptions, and it hints that there's way more to his story than we can see at first glance. So, with the kitten now tucked safely inside his jacket, the two of them begin their journey home. But, as we're about to find out, the city at night is not exactly a friendly place.
Their path is just filled with these obstacles that feel super real intense. First, they've got to dodge a group of tough-looking boys. Then, they have to somehow navigate all this dangerous, busy traffic. And to top it all off, they have to make a run for it from a snarling dog. Each step just raises the stakes and pushes them forward. Going through all these shared dangers, a real bond starts to form. Shane tries out a few different names, but he finally lands on My Cat. It's so simple, but it's also possessive and loving. The kitten isn't just a cat anymore, it's his cat. And that little act of naming is just a huge moment for their friendship. All throughout this dangerous trip, Shane is constantly reassuring the kitten with these words. It's such a comforting phrase, and you get the feeling he's not just saying it for the animal. He's saying it for himself, too. It builds up all this anticipation for us. What kind of safe, warm place could they possibly be heading to? And this is where the story just completely pivots. We've been following this tense, gripping journey, and we're expecting a certain kind of ending. But what Shane calls home is about to redefine the entire story. This is it. This is their destination. It's not a house with a warm bed. It's a hole in a fence that leads to a sheltered little corner in an alley. His bed is just a stack of newspapers. And the walls are decorated with his own drawings. It's just a stark, incredibly powerful reveal of his reality. So that reveal forces us to completely reevaluate the title. Home, for Shane, isn't about four walls and a roof. It's about creating a tiny pocket of safety and belonging in a world that mostly overlooks him. And it's a place that he can now share with his new companion, My Cat. Okay, so with that powerful twist out in the open, the story just blossoms. It starts to explore some incredibly deep and important themes. It really moves beyond a simple adventure story and becomes something much more profound. The book is just so gentle, but so powerful in the way it tackles these huge ideas. We see that universal need we all have for companionship, but it also shines this quiet light on the often invisible reality of childhood homelessness. By telling Shane's story, it challenges us to see the resilience and the humanity in situations we might otherwise ignore. And ultimately, it's about finding hope in the most difficult of circumstances. And you can tell none of this is by accident. The author, Libby Hathorn, she explicitly dedicates the book to people who help young folks, and that tells us this story is meant to be more than just fiction. It's really a call for empathy and awareness about a very real social issue. Now, the book doesn't offer some easy, neat resolution, but it does leave you with this glimmer of hope. At one point, Shane sees a bird trapped in a building finally find its way out, and he thinks this line to himself. It's this beautiful, subtle metaphor that suggests that, yeah, Escape and a better future is possible, even if it takes a while.
So, what is it that gives this quiet, powerful little book such a lasting impact? Well, a huge part of it comes down to the incredible talent that was behind its creation.
So the author, Libby Hathorn, is this celebrated figure in Australian literature. And her background as a teacher and a librarian gave her this really unique insight into how to craft stories that connect deeply with young readers, even while tackling some really complex subjects.
And her career has just been incredibly prolific. We're talking more than 70 books to her name. Her contribution to literature is just immense, and Way Home really stands out as one of her most poignant and thought-provoking works.
It is so important to point out that the visual storytelling in this book is every bit as powerful as the text. The illustrations by Gregory Rogers actually won the Kate Greenaway Medal, which is one of the biggest awards in children's literature. That just highlights how absolutely essential the art is to capturing the emotion and the whole atmosphere of Shane's world.
And this really brings us to our final thought. Way Home does so much more than just tell a story about a boy and a kitten. It uses this simple narrative to hold up a mirror to our own society and to our own definitions of what comfort and safety and home really mean. It leaves us with a question that just sticks with you long after you've turned the final page.